So the Hebrew word is echad. The Lord your God is echad, one. It means united.
Nope. That's a lie. Echad is literally the number 1 in Hebrew numerals. It can be used to describe compound unity in certain contexts, but Echad itself doesn't mean unity. But watch her try to gaslight the Muslim sister on this one.
In Genesis, it also says the man leaves the family and becomes one with a woman when they are married. Okay, so the man and woman become one. But it doesn't mean that man and woman are the same person. They're two people, but they are become echad.
Here, the subject is they, which is being used as a third person plural pronoun. The context of the sentence is plural. You are about to witness the worst mental gymnastics in a sad attempt to prove Trinity in the Old Testament.
In fact, in the Hebrew Bible, there are 8 words that are translated into the English word one. Only one of these Hebrew words, yahid, actually means absolute or solitary oneness. In Psalm 68:6, it actually refers to someone being absolutely alone. But this word yahid is never used to describe God.
How exactly would you expect someone to use the word solitary to describe God? Yahid is a qualitative adjective, always appears in Torah in emotional context, such as loneliness or vulnerability, or being the only one left, as seen as Genesis 22:2 and 22:12, to describe Abraham's only beloved son who Abraham is about to sacrifice. Yahid is never used in the Torah for one in an identity statement. It's always ihad. That ain't really God's vibe.
Whereas the word yahad, which means a compound unity, is always used to describe God.
Nope, that is also a lie. In Deuteronomy 6:4, it's not being used as a compound unity because the subject Lord is singular, and that is how ihad is mostly used throughout the Torah. If we use yahid in the context of Deuteronomy 6:4, it goes like, the Lord is our God and the Lord is lonely. That makes God sad and depressed.
There are some other examples where the word echad is used as a compound unity. I already gave the example of Adam and Eve, 2 persons being echad, becoming one. Genesis 11:6, it says that the people were one. The people were echad.
Here, the subject is people, which is plural of a person, unlike in Deuteronomy 6:4, God was singular.
Ezra 2:64, an entire congregation of 42,360 people are described as echad, one.
Again, the subject is an entire assembly of 42,360, which is plural. The meaning of echad is still one.
In Jeremiah 32:39, it says that God will give his people one heart, echad.
Whoops, I think you messed up there. There are 2 separate subjects here, heart and way, and are both singular with this respective numeric adjective, echad. You just proved my point by showing this verse, that echad is driven by context.
If you're trying to disprove the Trinity using the Bible, the only way that verse works to your advantage is if you completely ignore the Hebrew meaning of the original word. That's the only way for the Trinity to be denied through the Bible, is taking verses out of context.
First of all, I find it ironic that you're the one who's taking it out of context to prove your point that the Trinity is in the Old Testament. Deuteronomy 6:4 screams monotheism. Second, you just twisted the word of God to fit your own narrative, and the punishment for that, according to your own Bible, is eternal destruction. Maybe Trinity is somewhere hidden in the Old Testament, but this verse ain't one.